remember when the first season of Full Swing came out, and there's this episode where it followed Tony Finau, and it talked about how, or showed video really, of how he is this, he's this professional golfer, but he started as a kid hitting balls into mattresses in his garage because his family couldn't afford to go to the golf course and practice or go to the range and practice all the time. And just thinking about that, how that limitation of not being able to go and hit at the golf range or hit it on the golf course didn't stop him from taking advantage of the opportunities that he did have to hit the ball, right? And how ultimately now he's somewhere that many people are not, but it's because he was willing to do back then what many people would not. And just thinking about how in our own lives, we tend to let limiting factors pull us out of the game instead of doing the best that we can within the limits that are available to us. And then who knows what happens from there, right? And I guess my encouragement to you is we all in some ways are limited by the talents that we have, the means at our disposal, the people that we know, and all kinds of other factors that we don't have much control over, right? There's only so many things that we can control in our lives, and there's a lot of things that we can't control in our lives. But the truth is that many of us neglect even the things that we can control because we're too busy focused on the things that we can't control. And the reality is that there's a lot we can control. And so the question is, am I being faithful with what's in my hand that I can control, that I can be faithful with? I can't control what happens once my work leaves my hand, right? What happens once it enters the wide world, that's up to the wide world, right? But what I can do is I can be faithful with what's in my hand. And I remember having a conversation like years ago with a friend. We were just talking about like spiritual disciplines. We were talking about Bible reading in prayer, I think, actually. And I was like, the way that you become the person who says, I've read my Bible every day for the last year or the last 5 years, or the last 10 years, or I pray every day and I have done so for the last year or 5 years or 10 years. The only way that you do that is if one day you just start reading and then you just keep reading, or one day you just start praying and you just don't stop praying. And that's the truth. If we want to grow into the people that we want to be, we have to take control where we can take control, be disciplined where we can be disciplined. And there are all kinds of things that we can't control, but we do what we can control. So there's just your encouragement for today. Be diligent with what's in your hand. And you can't control the rest, but that you can control.